Oftentimes, a lot of the things that are talked about in this space, especially sometimes on my channel, they can be misunderstood, they can be misconstrued. I was just watching season 5, episode 1 of Insecure. And I love Insecure because watching videos and reviews, especially like from Ron Wills and from BGS Edmore, about breaking down the archetypes of the characters within Insecure is really the main thing that got me to get into the red pill communities and different aspects of dating, relationships, and sociosexual dynamics in a YouTube platform. You know what I mean? It opened up a lot of my eyes and doors to different things. But I'm going to touch on this from my perspective. At the very end of the episode, throughout the episode, you see Issa in a situation where she's feeling insecure. She's feeling insecure about the place she's at in her life. She's feeling insecure about her relationship. She's feeling insecure about her level of success and these different things. And a lot of this is predicated upon somewhat of a premature integration mindset. I'm gonna break down masculinity in the form of good D and guidance, right? Those are the basic tenets that I usually bring to the table when I'm talking about these conversations. One, you gotta have penis power. You have to have a certain level of influence with the woman that you're dealing with to really consider her someone who is on your program. But what are you using that power for? One, you gotta have that power. If you don't have that power, you don't have it. There may be some ways to get it, integrating after the fact. Those are things that can happen, but it's just unlikely. But when you do have that power, what are you doing with it? And this is what I mean. Oftentimes, women want a 50-50 relationship. And I'm not talking about money. When I say 50-50, I'm not talking about money. You can have a dom sub dynamic with the woman having more money. You can have a dom sub dynamic when you make all the money. The money is not really the factor in this. The factor in this is a matter of respect and desire. So when a woman wants an egalitarian 50-50 relationship where the man doesn't have significant amount of influence over any decisions that she makes, and especially if she's the type of woman who includes her success on her own as how she determines her value, like determining her value by masculine centric, male centric views of what success is, then if she doesn't reach that success, it can put her in a bad spot. Now, what I mean by what are you using that power to do, I'm talking mostly about once you establish that a woman is on your program, what are you teaching her? What are you pushing her to do? You listen to her goals, just like a good father, right? You're daddy to these women. When you're listening to her goals and her talking about her dreams and her passions, how are you pushing her to pursue those goals? How are you helping her to make sure that the idea is honed in enough so it's something that she can actually pursue? What plans are you putting in place? Lawrence has his own success. Lawrence has his own ways that he's getting ahead in life. But she saw that relationship more so subconsciously as a placeholder relationship for where she was in life. Something that often happens for many women. And this is part of what makes them afraid of being submissive, but is also why being submissive to the right man is important. Oftentimes when a woman gets into a relationship, and men do the same thing, people get complacent, right? Oftentimes people use issues in a relationship to motivate themselves to work on the issues in that relationship instead of moving forward. And I do suggest that if you're in a prematurely integrated relationship with someone who is good to you, but you just got to work on that shit, that you work that out. But what I am saying in a lot of situations that this is how it works. This is how it works. Oftentimes, a woman will see a man as a distraction from her goals. Like if a woman's feminine and submissive with you, she may put her goals to the side to make sure that you're good, right? To make sure that you're happy. Or she will put her own goals to the side to make sure that she's happy by trying to maintain you. And that's more so about her own ego. What you got to do, and this is part of sexual integration, this is part of integration in a relationship altogether. You got to get to the point within a relationship where the issues that you're trying to solve are no longer just predicated in revolving around just trying to make sure that you two get along. That is some very elementary shit. It's very elementary shit. You got to get to the place where the issues that you are attacking life. It's me and you. versus the world, not me and you versus one another, trying to see who gets their way. That's why I believe in the power dynamic. When you already have an established a dynamic and an established hierarchy of authority in a relationship, then you know who's deferred to who. When you already understand that, then it's a situation to where once that conflict between the two people is moved out the way, then you can focus on moving forward in life. Understand what I'm saying by this? You can focus on moving forward in life. See, what Lawrence could have been doing is, if he had that penis power, if he had that influence over that woman, then in life, when she had an idea, he could say, no, you're sticking with this. No, this is a good idea. Yes, this is a good idea. I like what you're doing with this. What we can do is, you know what, I got this extra money right here, or you got this extra money right here. This is how we're going to hone in on this. Here are some people you can meet or talk to. I may not know the people, but here's somebody you can talk to who knows people to help you with what you're doing. And we're not going to be switching around to something new all the time. We're going to pick a passion, pick a purpose, have some type of ambition, and we're going to go for it. And I'm going to push you in that direction. Right? And as a man, you got to have the ability to push yourself. And in a relationship, you can push each other. But as a man, when you have a woman, especially a woman who's feminine and submissive with you, who's on your program, who loves you, being submissive may be something that causes her to feel like she needs to create a separation and a delineation between her work life and her relationship life. If you're in a marriage or you're in a long-term relationship, that is also a business. Part of the purpose for being in a relationship is social validation, but that social validation also works to give you more credibility when you're going into the workforce. It gives you more credibility when you're going into establishing a career or some type of path, moving forward as a unit. When it comes to good D and guidance, an aspect of guidance is being able to look at your woman's ideas, to hone it down, and to give her some sense of direction in order to carry that out and have the ability to move forward within whatever that is. Like I always say, if you have nothing to teach a woman, you have nothing to offer her. If you have nothing to teach a woman, you have nothing to offer. You can give her some dick, that's cool, but nothing to offer her to where you two need to be in a relationship. Right? Just your guidance. Right? And when a woman is in a position where she does subscribe to seeing success as something based off of like a masculine standard, instead of being a woman who wants to have children, and want to have a family, want to be a stay-at-home wife, which is a beautiful thing, and more women need to take that perspective. If she also wants to work, and that's a good thing too, if she also wants to work and have her own success, then you need to be pushing her in the direction of her goals. If you are someone who is allowing your woman to get complacent with her goals and her passions, and you're not pushing her forward, then she will include you as part of who she resents when she's looking at her own life and seeing how she's not reaching the places that she wants to reach to. Even if she says that the relationship is egalitarian, even if you say that you two are supposed to be on a 50-50 playing field, even if you have your own success and she doesn't have as much of her own, if you're not pushing that woman forward, when she starts to feel resentful or regretful, or to feel guilty, or to feel insecure about her own life, she will point to you as, when I'm with him, how am I progressing as a person? When I'm with him, how am I improving? Like I always say, you got to leave women better than you found them, right? So I'm watching this episode, and I'm seeing how Issa feels, and I'm seeing how the perspective that Lawrence takes isn't very much of a dominant perspective. I remember watching earlier on with Insecure and the dynamic between Issa and Lawrence, and seeing that more so as a matter of, he was complacent, but he was just complacent because he was actually trying for something. It didn't work out, and it took him some time to dust off and get his shit back together. But his issue was, he needed to get kicked in the ass by his girl cheating on him, and for them breaking up, for him to push himself to move forward in life. You don't want to be in a situation where you're only motivated by having negative experiences in your relationships, right? It's kind of just like let that hurt go pussy, let that hurt go dick. It's similar to that concept. You want to be able to tap into improving yourself while you're in a relationship and not seeing that it's a distraction from your life. You want to be with someone who, being with them, it helps motivate you, and you should have that motivation intrinsically. But if you're a man, you're dealing with a woman, you're a dom, masculine feminine dynamics are in place, then you listen. You listen to what your woman is passionate about. She can have her 9-to-5 job, and you can still be a man who comes into play, comes into the picture and says, okay, cool, take a certain amount of this money out. See, I'm gonna tell you some real shit. Even if you don't have a lot of money, if a woman respects your wisdom, respects your guidance, she will break down all the money she has, all of her expenses, and say, this is what I have. What can I do to improve my lifestyle? And if you as a man have some type of level of understanding, then you can say, listen, put this money to the side right here to put towards your goals and your passions. You stay on her ass, making sure that she's moving forward and progressing. And if she's not, then it's an issue. You ain't got to be too mean about it. You ain't got to be too harsh about it. But you can't let a woman think that being complacent in life is something that's acceptable, because she will blame you if she doesn't reach her goals. All the time that she spends with you, if she doesn't reach her goals, she's going to say, how did I improve as a person while I was with him? Oftentimes when people talk about love, there's many definitions. But I saw this one definition of love one time that said, love, me saying I love you just means I like the version of me I experience when I'm with you. It's similar to the concept of let that hurt go dick. Let that hurt go pussy. Right? What is let that hurt go dick? That can be addictive. Why? Because when you're with this woman and she's allowing you and giving you free reign to be masculine and dominant and tap into your raw sexual energy, your raw primal energy, the version of yourself you're experiencing is something that you don't often get to experience, so you fall in love with that. It doesn't matter how good the pussy is. Maybe not fall in love, but you get addicted to it. Where you should be leaving a woman alone, you keep dealing with her. Why? Because when she gets on your nerves, you get to let that raw aggression out. Similarly, what you want to do is not reward behavior that you don't like to see. Don't reward behavior that you don't like to see. But I'm just looking at this dynamic between Issa and Lawrence and how this is building up resentment into where she's like, you know what? I think I just want to end things. And that may not have been exactly what it meant at the end of the episode, but I've got the gist. That's pretty much what it means. Don't let a woman use you as something to keep her stagnant. You know, that's another reason why I don't believe in being only sex with a woman for a super extended period of time. If she's not a woman who's on your program, sexually and non-sexually, then that's not the woman for you. Right? You don't want a woman to cause you to be stagnant, or to be with a woman where she uses you as a placeholder for the time being, because that's disrespecting yourself. Even if you don't end up in a long-term relationship with the woman, at the very least, when you're giving her some dick, you start to get to know each other better. You can get into a position where you have influence. When you have influence, you push that woman towards her goals. You help increase and improve her mindset when it comes to dating and relationships and different aspects of masculine and feminine dynamics. You help that woman become more feminine. You help that woman pursue her goals better. You help her improve as a person. You leave her better than you found her. You don't have to be in a relationship to leave a woman better than you found her. I've dealt with women, a relationship was never on the table and I left them better than I found them. And they still appreciate me for those things to this day. Right? Some of the testimonials I get are from women who I used to deal with. And I left them better than I found them. Don't allow a woman to be complacent with you, because she will blame you for it. Because part of the reason she's not successful is because she doesn't take responsibility for her own choices. She relishes in the anguish of being insecure. She relishes in the anguish of being in a depressive state. She relishes in the anguish of not reaching the points of success in her own life. And she just finds ways to distract herself. And as a man, you don't want to be in that position either. You don't want to be in that position either. Right? And when someone relishes in the anguish of that, they never make any changes because they don't take any accountability for their choices. One aspect of being a dom, right? One aspect of being masculine with a woman is that you take accountability. You hold her accountable and responsible to you. She gets to stay in her feminine submissive energy while still being able to have access to what it means to be accountable. She still has access to what it means to take responsibility because you're holding her feet to the fire. Understand what I'm saying by this? So, listen, there's good deed, there's guidance. Know what guidance is. Guidance is about leaving a woman better than you found her.